Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Firefly Campfire Chats. We're so happy you are here. It takes a little while for everybody to enter the room, so we'll give you some time.
Hi, everyone.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon now, I guess. Although I guess we do have a lot of people in different time zones, so.
Right, exactly.
For sure.
Go ahead and put your location in the chat or the name of your park. We would love to see where you are coming from. Great, welcome. And normally it shows how many people are in there, but I can't see that.
On the top right, it's showing for me, but
Oh, it is?
It's been an interesting morning.
Great, welcome. I'm going to put a little poll on the stage while people are entering. Let's see, launch at a stage. Oh, and it's a little bit. Is this your first webinar? We would love to hear if this is the first time you're seeing us or if you've been to a webinar before.
I love that people keep coming, though. That's exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, see lots of familiar names.
Mm-hmm.
So we have over 100 people registered for this event. So we are going to give a minute or two to let people enter the room.
Hey, Blanca. Blanca gets a special shout out today. We'll do one every webinar.
Every webinar. Man, second time, awesome.
All right, great. So for most of you, you've been to webinars before, so you kind of know how it's run. So we're going to go through kind of some underutilized features. Maybe you started with Firefly and your priorities were different. You know, you wanted to get your unit set up and your reservations online and use the portal, take payments, things like that. But there are so many features in Firefly that we want to make sure you remember. We probably talked about it at the very beginning and you might not have been ready. But Matt and Adrian are going to take you through what we think are kind of underutilized features that are amazing and that will help you do your job better or easier, make your job easier. Feel free to throw questions in the chat or the little question section, and we'll interrupt Adrian and Matt kind of as we go along to hit those questions while they're presenting. And then, of course, at the end, we will do some more Q&A at the end. So maybe you thought about questions after the fact. So our agenda will go as follows. Let's see. We've got the point of sale and some reports. We're going to talk about the Google ID tag and redirect, the customer URL parameters, cancellation and waitlist, bulk messaging, and group holds. That's kind of what our focus is. If you've got questions on anything else, let us know, or we can work that into our next webinar. And I am going to remove this from the stage. And who's going first, Adrian or Matt? I think Matt.
I will dive in. Just let me know when you guys can see. I want to make sure I share the right screen here. Let me know when and if you can see my Firefly park.
You're good.
Okay, great. Well, hi guys again. I'll be going through the first couple on that list there. So we'll start with point of sale. And really just a very brief overview of that feature in and of itself. And then also a new-ish report that some people just haven't been made aware of. So I want to show you guys that. You can get to the point of sale register on the left-hand side here, point of sale, and then register, or there's also the icon at the top of your screen at all times as well. So if you jump in there, I just want to reiterate, because I had someone that didn't realize this is free. It's not an additional cost. It's not an add-on. You can use it for Ice and firewood only. You can use it for a huge store. You can go be somewhere in the middle. It's totally up to you guys if you want to use it and how you want to use it. So just to give you a couple little tips within here, you can, first of all, categorize everything. So just to help organize it, you can categorize down into, hiking supplies, cooking, firewood, all that sort of stuff. You can ring up items that way as well. So if you click on that magnifying glass, that helps you find items that way. These all link up to barcode scanners as well. So I obviously have a bunch of favorites over here on the left. I can ring up a couple items here. And within each item, there's a UPC number. Now, these are just sample ones on a test park. So their ID numbers are very simple, single digit numbers. But as long as that number is the barcode number underneath the barcode itself, that'll allow you guys to actually ring up the items with a barcode scanner just to help save time too. And those are nice because they're also pretty much universal, where you don't have to have a specific model or something like that. So you can ring up your items that way. You can search for the item. If you know the numbers, the UPC numbers off the top of your head, you could also do that. And then you could also have all these favorites here. Making a payment, simple enough. You can add a payment, just a one-off situation where it's not attached to their reservation. That's right here, add payment. But also, in case you guys didn't know, or even people that have been using point of sale and haven't really utilized this much, you can charge these point of sale items to a reservation, and then they can pay at a later date, or charge to a guest. And what that means is you're not necessarily charging it to an overnight reservation, but you could have, as long as you have the guest in the system as somebody that has an account. Almost think of it almost like a restaurant tab or something. You can set up a charge list there as well. And that comes in handy for one example a park had was they do day visitors. So a pass for a day visit, or if a park has a side business of propane or something like that, where people aren't necessarily staying overnight, but you are selling items through the point of sale system. However you want to do that, you can utilize the charge to guest option there. So lots of cool options. It's pretty streamlined. It's not detailed in that you'd be customizing cheeseburgers or something like that. But it's pretty robust in that it can handle a pretty decent sized store as well. Now, as far as the reports go, there are some reports that have been in here for a while that you guys have seen. I won't go through all of them today, but if you go to the reports tab there, you can see there are several point of sale reports that are already in here, that were already in here. Inventory, and that's really just bare bones. That's just telling you how much inventory is in place. It's not giving you the previous history or anything like that. That's what we most recently added. That's what I'll show you here. But just for other info, you can see there's a high-level view of POS items sold during a certain time period, a list of all the payments, a list of all the transactions. So plenty of reports just related to point of sale. This is the newer one that we released in October, I think it was. Is that what you said, Adrian?
Yeah.
This was released in October, and it's just a helpful way for you to actually dig into the inventory and see what differences have happened. It just helps you keep on top of things. So for example, I'm just going to look for everything this month so far, what's gone on with all my inventory. So I'm just going to say, give me all my point of sale items. It's obviously just going to list the ones where we have enabled inventory. And then if you wanted to, you could also break it down by manual adjustments versus sale, meaning did I go in there myself and buy 100 new packages of Coca-Cola, and you can manually override the amount of inventory in place on one item. The sale just meaning once you buy one of those cans of Coke, the system will obviously just -1. It'll just take one out of the overall inventory. So you can see the difference there. You can break it down by vendors if people do that, not required. And you can also do it by category as well. So I'm going to run this just to show you guys an example of why this could be helpful. You can see here, I have mostly sale-related adjustments. So these are just every time somebody buys a bag of ice, a can of Coke, a can of Sprite, matches, it'll let you know that it has subtracted 1. And it's also going to let you know when this occurred. So this might come in more handy, especially when you're manually updating. So we realized that we don't actually have as many matches as we thought. So I went in there on 3/18 and I made sure to update this so that we're really only showing that we have 1,200 of this item. And then the opposite is true as well. I just went out and purchased a bunch of 12 packs of Sprite, and I just wanted to get in there today, 3/19, and make that update here. So I've updated it so that we have 120 cans of Sprite, and we added 72 today. So it's just helpful digging in and tracking down exactly what happened and when it happened regarding your point of sale items. Any questions so far?
Nope, not yet. Thanks.
Cool. Okay. Now the next thing is, and this is sort of totally shifting gears, but let us know if you do have any questions or suggestions or looking for advice on point of sale. Another thing, the next thing I want to look at are the Google ID tags. I don't know if we actually put this in the with a megaphone announcement. Do you guys know, or Jennifer?
No, I don't think we did.
I don't think we did either. So this will be new news to some people, and that's right in here. If you click on settings and property, and you go to your reservations tab, right underneath the reservation portal URL, you're going to find the Google Tag Manager ID. And this is something that you'll have to provide to us. This is something that you get from your Google account, whether it's Google Analytics, or I saw a few different options there. Generally, your Google Analytics account. Once you link that up here, once you plug it in here and save it, essentially what's happening is you get visibility into the performance. You get a little help with, if you need help, how do we market? How many conversions do we have? How many page views do we have? Who's clicking on these links? What sorts of traffic are we getting? Is it coming from Google? Is it coming from social media? Device location? All those sorts of data points that you guys might be interested in to help with further marketing and just getting on top of those sorts of things. That's going to come from your Google ID tag. So you plug it in here. We don't do anything on our end. There's no, we don't have to turn on a switch or anything. It's basically just plugging that in. And then once you plug it in, the data will automatically start to feed into your Google Analytics dashboard. So you'll be able to see all those things and break down what are people clicking on, how often are they clicking on it, all those sorts of various things I mentioned. So, like I said, this can help with marketing. This can help with just optimizing where you're spending your money. And it's really simple to put in there too. There's no like big setup process to it. The other thing that I want to mention about this one is because I figured we might get this question. You, the park, own and control all of that data. So we can't see it. We don't have access to it. Even if we were curious, we can't see that stuff. We can only see the Google Tag ID, but we don't have access to any of that data that you guys would be tracking and storing and using for marketing and optimization.
Matt, would you know how to guide them to find that Google ID tag in their Google? I don't
Yeah, I
know.
read up about it yesterday a little more because I personally don't have a Google Analytics account. It should be in there, and I can find. I'll see if there's a pretty much a one size fits all breakdown.
There's a help article. I'll just share it in the chat if that's
Okay,
good.
awesome. That'd be great. Yeah, it's somewhere in the settings. You should be able to grab it, and it's literally just a copy and paste right into Firefly. Yeah, and feel free follow up if you need any help because we can always help dig into that. Any other questions on that one?
Awesome. Thanks, Adrian, for that.
Yeah.
And I'll include that in the recording email that I sent out to recap, but we can include that link in there as well.
Great. Awesome. All good with the Google tags?
I think so. We're good.
Okay. Great. So the next thing is actually I'll reference this in a knowledge base article because that's what is most helpful for this, and that would be custom URLs, and this will help a little bit to see it visually. And basically, what I'm talking about here we go, is yes, you guys all have your own specific reservation portal URL. But what a lot of people don't know is that you can amend this and customize it a little bit by adding some text to the end of this string here in order to make a shortcut, in order to feed people with specific arrival dates, a specific link to book. So here's a couple examples here. Basically, I'll highlight it down here actually. This is the idea of it, is that you can add any sort of parameter. So unit type, reservation type, what's the arrival date, how many adults are there. You can customize this further so that the link is more specific and it's bringing people into exactly the spot that they need to be in. So if you're opening up just your lodging, just your cabins at a certain time of year that might be different from the campsites or the tent sites, you could come in and utilize a specific URL in order to just help people feed into the right funnel, just help them. You have one less step to take to make their booking. So one example that I had was I used the unit types. So, and I'll copy and paste this. I have it on my text file here. You guys can see it, but I'll also plug it in. It's the same URL that we just used for just my general reservation portal URL. And you can see at the end here, there's a question mark, and then my parameter, and then equals, and then the unit type. So utilizing things like this can help you to bring people to a shortcut. And you can see here what it did was, generally speaking, my unit type is set to RV sites because that's most popular at this park that doesn't actually exist. But you can see that you can automatically feed them into the cabin type if you want to. And that way people can go in one less click and you'll bring them right to the available cabins instead. What I should have also mentioned, and I'll go back to this, is you could also add multiple strings together. So down here, this example down here, what I could have done there is I could have said, let's specifically put lodging on sale, send this link out, and also put we're looking for 2 adults, or we're looking for a certain arrival date, and that'll automatically be put in place there. So maybe if you had a July 4th type sale that you have going on, you could set it up so that the arrival date is automatically just listed as July 4th. So it's pretty neat, and it's basically a way for you to just manipulate the URL string to take some shortcuts. All right, and that's really all there is for those custom URLs. Let us know, are there any questions about that part?
No, just on who to reach out to, and I answered. You can reach out to support or success to help get that set up if you need help.
Yeah, for sure. And if you just go into, we're obviously available to help. If you say it was after hours or something and you wanted to poke around with that, this knowledge base article is the best one for it. And we could plug this in maybe in our follow-up email, but this is the name of that that specific knowledge base article.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Okay. Oh, actually, I actually missed something. Let me take one step back. In unison with the Google ID tags, I wanted to mention one other thing, actually. And this is another small thing, but it's on the same page. Reservation settings. If I scroll down more than halfway down, you'll see that there is a redirect URL field here. And all that's doing is, instead of feeding them this generic reservation success sheet here, instead you could say, as soon as they put the credit card in and click make reservation, it'll automatically bring them to, in this case I just put Firefly, but it'll automatically take them to a specific page on your website with directions, or a page on your website with ideas for add-ons, maybe kayak rentals or golf cart rentals, or just things like that. So just another little tip there, that we don't see people use this a ton. So within, again, settings, property, and then the reservations tab, you can redirect as soon as somebody makes a booking. It'll bring you right to that next web page, wherever you want it to go. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Yeah, I forgot about that part. My last thing, and then I'll hand you over to Adrian. And we've gone over this a few times, but there's still a bunch of people that haven't had the time to dig in, or just, we know everyone's busy, so you might have just not seen it. We have cancellation rules within the unit settings, and it can be really helpful, especially if you have lots of cancellations, especially if you have unique rules where there's lots of math involved, and you don't want people to always have to rely on quick math when it's really busy. So I'll give you a couple examples here, but basically 2 things I want you to know. One is, customer facing wise, you obviously want to put your cancellation rules in the policies. So what I'm going to show you next is really more for you guys internally, just to help you expedite and make the process nice and smooth. But as for making sure that the customer sees it and agrees to those rules, that you want to have those in the policies section. But if I go into one of my sites here, and I click on my cancellations tab, you can see here that I can basically set up 2 rules, 3 rules, 4 rules, 1 rule, whatever you guys want to do. You can set up rules based on when people are canceling, and based on that, how much are we going to refund them, or how much are we not going to refund? In my example, my threshold, I put at 48 hours. So if somebody gives us enough notice and they cancel in advance of 48 hours to arrival, what we've decided is we are going to keep $20 and we'll refund you back the rest. Easy enough. If you cancel inside the 48 hours, we are going to make that non-refundable. And you can also play around with the different types of charges. If some things are refundable, if some things are not refundable. For example, our reservation fee, Firefly doesn't refund that back to the our customer, being you, the park. So we always recommend that little piece, make that non-refundable, and then as for the reservation unit, you can decide how you want to handle that. There's also add-ons. You can set up rules for those, or electric charges, rules for those. So that's how you can set up those different rules. And not to get too into the weeds with this, but basically what this is doing, this add-on fee, this is just one way to do it. There's other ways to do this, but the way that I've done it here is I've basically created a zero value holding bucket, so that when I do have these cancellations, the $20 that I'm still making, even though there's a cancellation, the $20 is going to go into its own little revenue bucket, just as a way for us to track, okay, we had all these cancellations, but here's how much money we still made from this. So that's one way you can handle those. To put it into practice here, basically, this just allows you to come in and say, for this example, for this reservation, obviously they're checking in, I think it was either today, tomorrow. If I were to come in and click cancel, this is obviously going to suggest to me non-refundable, it's inside 48 hours, but you can see that you can override that if you needed to, if it was a one-off situation. So here's the refund amount that you can override. But what these rules are doing is it's just doing the math for you, suggesting based on your rules, here's how much you should refund. If I were to attempt to cancel,
Can I interrupt for a second, Matt?
Yep.
On that overriding the cancellation amount, that is user specific. Like, you have to have permissions to be able to do that, correct?
I have to double check that. When Adrian is, unless Adrian knows it.
Yeah, it is. It's user specific.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was hoping so.
Yeah, when you go into the permissions, there's a checkbox, and it says, I think it says edit cancellation or something like that.
Perfect. Yeah. I'll show you guys that after this reservation. But yeah, you should be able to. If I were to cancel this one, they don't check in until the 30th. You'll see that the system automatically calculates once again, but a little differently, where, okay, we're going to refund you back $85. We're going to keep our $20. And then the $3.50 is non-refundable. So it's just helping streamline things, especially during peak season. It'll just do the math for you, and you don't have to stress about it as much. Now, that last piece, and then I'll hand it over. If you go into the user settings, it is here. Edit cancellation refund amount.
Yeah. That way, if you only want your managers to be able to have access to override those amounts, you can do that.
Exactly. Yep.
Great. Thank you for showing that.
Sure, definitely.
Because
And
I
feel
don't know that it's
free.
auto checked like when they so if you go in there and you're like, I can't do that, so you may have to go into your user permissions and check the box to where you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, good point. If there's ever a feature where you're like, I don't even see the ability to edit the rates or whatever, it's probably that you don't have the permission, either on purpose or by accident. So always feel free to at least ask us. Just for like privacy reasons, we can't do that for, say, your admin, but we'll always point you in the right direction.
Great, awesome. All right, well, we're transitioning here to Adrian. Do you prefer the mountains, desert, lake, or beach? What would you prefer to spend your time in? Let's see. Got some votes going in there.
Like how no one has chosen the desert.
I know. Well, I threw it in there because I just came from the desert. And it is beautiful out there. But would I prefer that over other things? I don't know. And I'm sorry that it is. Does it look off size to you guys? Let's see.
No, it's good.
Oh, there we go. That might be better. All right, we've kind of got an overwhelmingly winner of the mountains. Yes, the mountains are gorgeous. All right, thank you for that.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen then, if that's cool.
All right.
Maybe. There, you can see it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to start with one of our newest features, the waitlist. So the waitlist has actually been in Firefly for quite a long time, but we've recently really upgraded it to make it so much easier for you to use. So here under reservations, you'll see that you have waitlist. And there are two ways to use this. One, you can make it internal only, because here on the top right, you can see you can do add new guests to waitlist. So if you just want to use it instead of having like an old ratty notebook that everybody fills out and crosses stuff in, you can use this internally this way. You can also go into your settings, and my internet's been a little slow, but we'll see how this goes. So settings, property, and then it'll be under the reservations tab. You can choose, if you wish, to have customers add their own name to the waitlist from the guest portal if they're searching for dates or for a site that isn't available at the time that they're looking for. So you can see here there's the option to add guests, allow guests to join the waitlist. So I'm just going to go back here under reservations and waitlist. So you can see all of the names that have been added will be here in a list. You do have search functions here as well. So if a site becomes free and you're like, I just want to see if anybody meets this criteria, you can do a little search. You also have the option over here on the waitlist record itself to go into options. There we go. And you can actually add a reservation right from here, which is really cool because before you had to remember all the information and fill it out again, but right here we can just do add reservation. You can also send an availability notification. So if a site becomes available, this will send the customer an email. And kind of like Matt was describing in the custom parameters, it will actually send the email with some of that auto-filled. So they can click the link and make their reservation pretty quickly. The only thing we have to be mindful of is that this does not hold the site for them. So if the site's available, it is kind of a free-for-all, first come, first serve, which most parks seem to want because you want to get that site booked, but at least you have the option to notify them that that's available. Under settings and email templates, there is an option to customize what that email looks like. So if you just wanted to put like, oh, this is a courtesy email, it is still first come, first serve, but we noticed you're on our wait list, that kind of thing, you can customize that and send that out. So we've made it a lot easier to go from the wait list to making a reservation. The other thing that we've done, which I think is really, really cool, is you can do this from both the grid and the map. And if you find that, I have to go in the future just because I remember where I put the wait list, but if you find that a site becomes available, maybe you had a cancellation, you can go on your grid and you can actually check the wait list matches to see if anybody matches. There's also an option to override restrictions here as well. So if you have like a 3-night minimum or something like that, then it will show you if somebody's pretty close. Because like maybe, for example, you want to fill that site anyways, even if it's a 3-night minimum and this person's going to come for 2 nights, you can always override it that way. So you can see here, this says, oh, John Camper, he'd be a great candidate for this site. So again, I can go here to options and I can add the reservation right from here if I'd like. I got to fill out all his info. That looks pretty good. Okay, we'll hit create and you can see it auto-filled from his record. And this way we have everything pretty much good to go. We have his information in over here. You can see it already put his name in. So all we have to do is grab the credit card and create the reservation. So it's a much faster, easier way to put it from the wait list without having to do any manual work. The other thing we can do, I'm just going to remove this so I'm not double booking poor John here. If we go to the reservation map, you can see here's our date range as well. If we click on an available site, because sometimes it's just easier to see on the map what's available, you have your check waitlist matches from here too. So it works exactly the same way as the grid. It doesn't matter if you use the grid or if you use it from the map, use whatever your brain likes best. But same thing, we can go options and we can add the reservation or send the email from here. So that's a really cool new feature just to make sure that you can get filled up, because that's what we want. We want all your sites filled to the best of our ability. So that gives you one more way to get those spots filled. The next thing that before I actually go to the next thing, are there questions about that?
I think Matt got it. There was a question in the chat, and thanks, Matt, for grabbing that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
There was another one I think that just came in. And by the way, Adrian, the first one, the question was about could we utilize the wait list almost like a parameter in the.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Because like if you look at it here, sorry, I'll go into it more. You can
Sure.
put the arrival date range here. You can put in the number of people, the class, the unit that they want, minimum nights that they want, required amenities that they want. And then you can also check mark if they're flexible with their date ranges or not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I see what you're saying. I didn't think of it that way. Yeah. I guess you could, because you could utilize those specifics for.
Yeah. And you can make notes on it too, right? So if like someone's really specific about something or they're very flexible and very open, you can make notes on it as well.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. The next question, does the customer get an automatic notification if there's an opening, or do they still have to go in and send them the notification?
You have to send it. So you have to like check the waitlist matches and then choose from that drop down if you want to send it. It's not 100% automated.
Let's see. Thomas has got an event that supports the fairground events. The problem, they want to close sites for certain events and open sites for other events during the year. So online registration can't be made for sites that aren't available to do events.
Yes, that will be better for a group hold, and we'll talk about that in a bit.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then when does that camper get charged? After making the reservation, it's asking if it's free to be on the wait list. So
yes. Yeah, it's 100% free to be on the wait list. We don't charge you or the guest for using the wait list. It's all included in Firefly. So the $350 doesn't come into play until they actually make a booking.
Great.
So it's worth using, right?
That's great. A lot of great features in there that we've added. So love to see.
Yeah, I was really excited when this came out. You guys know me, I'm always excited when something new comes out. So there is that. All right, is that good for the questions on the wait list though?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Cool. All right, so next I want to move into the bulk emailing and bulk texting. So I know a lot of people in the back of their minds, they realize this exists, but it's not being utilized as much as maybe it could be. And we've also upgraded this quite a bit in the past year or so. So let's take a look. So here under guests, we have the option to email guests. And the same option is available to text guests as well. So whether you're doing email guests or SMS message guests, that's quite a tongue twister, it's the same filters either way. So when you go into here, you can filter it out to see, okay, well, I want people who are in the park during this date range. You can customize what kind of reservation it is. So let's say you only want to send an email to all of your ongoing customers. Like, we don't care about the overnights right now. This is just applicable for anyone long-term. So you can choose just ongoing. You can choose based on unit classes. So maybe you only want it to send to people who are in tent sites or who are renting a cabin or who are your storage customers. Unit types is just a little bit of a higher level of that. So the class you could do like, oh, I just want back-in sites, versus the type would be, okay, RV sites in general. Balance due status, which is super helpful. So if you have anybody who maybe hasn't fully paid yet and you're like, oh, I want to make sure they get the rest of their money in, you can put that in here as well. Policy status, which is super handy. So if you wanted to send a reminder email to everybody who hadn't signed your policies yet, you can say, okay, I only want to send this to people who haven't signed. Or if, let's say, they booked last year and you updated your policies since then and you would like them to re-sign it, you could do the need re-signing as well. To group hold, so anybody in a specific group hold, or you can do minimum and maximum nights, which is super handy if you have seasonals. So like, let's say you have seasonal campers, they're not going to be ongoing because they do have a start and end date, but they are going to be there for generally, I'm assuming, around 180 nights or so. So you could say, okay, well, I only want to send this email to customers who are in my park for 180 nights or longer. In the same vein, you could do the opposite. I only want to send it to short-term guests. I only want to send it to people who are here for 21 nights or shorter. So you can really customize and filter out who you want to email. The promotional status here is subscribed or not subscribed, just so that we are not sending emails, promotional emails, to guests that have decided they don't want to receive those. So if it is a promotional email, just keep that in mind. You can load the date range for last year as well. So maybe you want to send an email to everybody who stayed in the park for Labor Day weekend last year and offer them a special promo code to come back this year. You could do that sort of thing. So there's lots of different ways you can do this, which I think is super exciting. So once you put in your search parameters and hit search, it'll load the list of people here. And you can go through and check mark who you want, or as long as you filtered enough, just do select all, because that's much easier and faster. And then from here, if you've already created a custom template, and we'll go into showing you where to do that in a sec, you can select it from any of the templates you already have, and custom ones will be here as well. Or you can just go ahead and write a one-off email down here. Don't forget to fill out a subject line. I always forget to do that when I do this, and it doesn't send. You can put an attachment in here if you want to send a picture, like a little flyer you made, by all means. And then don't forget you have the placeholders here too, which are super handy, because you can say, okay, hi, and then you can put in, where'd my cursor go? There. Oh, this is being interesting. It doesn't, okay, there it goes. Hi, guest first name. And that's going to autofill with the guest's first name. So to them, it looks like you sent them a nice little personal email. Just for anyone who's curious, it doesn't do like BCC or anything. It does quite literally send one email to each guest. So there is no worry about them seeing anybody else's information or details. But use the placeholders to autofill appropriately, because that looks awesome. If you want to send yourself a test email before you send it out to everyone, please do. If you click on send test email, you can send it to your own email address just to make sure it looks like what you want it to look like. And then you can go ahead and send that email, and that will send that out to everyone. So that's pretty cool. The SMS message guests works exactly the same way. Now, we do have to remember that guests have to opt in to receive text messages. And of course, you do have to have the text messaging plan enabled. So text messaging does start at $5 a month and 10 cents per text, but we do have different levels depending on the volume you're thinking of sending. And for the text messages, it's, like I keep saying, literally the same way as the email. So there are automated texts that you can turn on and off that you can customize in the same way you've done your emails. The other cool thing about the text messages, which a lot of people, until you have it connected, you can't see it, so I'm going to show it to you, is the SMS message center. So when you sign up for text messaging with Firefly, it's not going to your phone. It's all handled within Firefly. So it doesn't matter what users are logging in, everyone will be able to see this and deal with the texts, hopefully in a timely fashion. If you have a new text message, you'll see in the bell icon up here, it'll be lit up. And then the center kind of looks like your phone, right? You can see all of the text messages. Mine don't go because my people are all fake. But you can see the text messages here. You can send text messages from here, and customers can reply as well. So that's all available. If we go here to settings, this is where you'll see the email templates. And if you scroll down, if it lets me, oh, come on. Okay, it's not letting me scroll down, but under here there is SMS templates as well. So you can get it, now it's going. So you can get those there as well down here. So either way, whichever ones you're trying to edit, go wild. For the email and the SMS templates, once you go into the template heading, you'll see there's a new custom template option. So if you want to have, like, maybe you have activities going on every weekend and you don't want to write the whole email every single weekend because that's kind of annoying. It's the same thing and you're switching out a flyer or something like that. You can make the custom template and then just switch out what you want to switch out as you go. But you can definitely save kind of that template there in the background, so it looks the same as any other email. Just be aware the name is the internal name for the template and the subject is what the customer will see. I always forget to put in the name and then I can't save it. So that's there at the top, kind of sneaky. So just make sure you fill that in. The other thing we've done, and again, true for SMS and email, is we've added a couple of extra templates in here. So you can see we now have pre-arrival 1, pre-arrival 2, post-stay 1, and post-stay 2. So if you'd like to send out more emails, you can. Everybody has upcoming reservation and reservation follow-up. That's generally activated on most accounts. The upcoming reservation by default is sent 1 day prior to arrival. So you can go in here, you can change that if you wish. But let's say you want to send an email 14 days before arrival and then another one 1 day prior to arrival. So you can leave your upcoming reservation email going 1 day prior to arrival. And then you can come into reservation pre-arrival number 1 and you can say, okay, I want to do this 14 days before arrival and I want to send this information instead. I typed it, but it's, okay, that's fine. I want to send this information instead. So you can have multiple things sending out if that would be good for your customers. And the exact same thing is true for the follow-up. So the follow-up is like the thanks for staying with us email. Give us a review if you enjoyed your stay. So you could do that maybe the day after they leave. And if you want another post-stay email to go out a week later or something, you could totally do that as well. So those are all in both places. So customize them, use them in a way that'll work for you and make your customers feel like you're, keeping in conversation with them. So yeah, those are our bulk emailing and texting. Any questions about those?
I do. I've got a few questions. Can you show everyone where they can add the SMS texting if they wanted to add that onto their Firefly?
Yes, you do have to add the add-on onto your account. So if you go into your name and account, you'll see that there's an add-ons option here. So you just choose the plan. You choose the plan that you want to select. And you can switch plans over time. So like if you start with the basic and you find you're growing out of it, no problem to switch it. So like you're not locked in for life or anything like that. Just be aware if you turn off the text messaging, you do lose the number. So you'd have to redo that part again. Once you've activated the plan, then under settings and property, there it is. You'll have to claim, there'll be a little text here that says claim SMS number. So you'll have to claim a number. You can put in your area code so that the number looks like it's coming from the same area. It's not totally random. So you can claim a number that works for you because people can send texts to it. You do have to choose whether, like all the plans include US and Canada texting, but if you'd like to enable international texting, you do have to select that because it is a little bit more costly.
And then can you show the display or the notifications?
I don't have any, but it would be up here.
I meant like under notifications where they can choose like to get the notifications on their email or their text.
Oh, I see what you mean, like to opt in? Or you mean like I see what you're saying. Okay, yes. So here under settings, property, and notifications, where we have our new reservation email. So you know how every time someone makes a booking on Firefly, you get an email that's like, hey, somebody booked, yay, kind of thing. In that same section, you have the option to put in either an email address or phone number to say, hey, you have a new text message in Firefly. And you can set it up to be for a certain time frame. So you can say, okay, well, if nobody's read this text message in 30 minutes, I want you to send me a text. And I only want you to send me text between these hours, so it's not waking you up at 1 o'clock in the morning because someone's texting you from Firefly. So you can customize that there as well. Same goes for email. So
Great, thank you so much. And another thing, if you don't mind me pointing out, under the SMS texting templates, you can turn off any templates that you want, so you're not getting charged for a bunch of templates going out. Because they are going to duplicate the emails that are automated. So many parks might not want some of those texts going out. So you can make sure you turn those off. Otherwise, they will go out with those automated emails. And that's one thing that you can do. And let's see, I do have a handful of questions, so I'm going to kind of back up the chat and, and get there. Let's see. One is about emails. Is it able to utilize a copy and paste features within the email?
Yeah. Use your keyboard, Control V as in Victor for pasting, but yes.
Okay, awesome. And then if they do need to send an updated waiver or policy that needs to be signed and returned, does that end up in their site info?
Yeah, so they would log into the guest portal and they would see the new policy. So they would just sign it like they did originally.
And then is there an opportunity to create and have a signature to use with every email?
Not really. You'd have to put that in the templates. So if you have it in the template, yes, but not in the sense where you can like click a link and have it inserted.
Okay, great. And then the cost for the text feature.
So the pricing, it depends on the plan. The pricing is here. I thought someone would ask, so I got the webpage ready. So it starts at $5 a month and 10 cents per text. And then it goes up from there. So 25 a month and 5 cents and 40 a month and 3 cents. And it's kind of based on volume. So like I said, you can decide where you want to start and then feel it out from there. You can always scale up or down if you need to.
And then one question I usually get when I'm doing onboarding that maybe people haven't thought of yet so if you're sending one text to 30 people, it's 5 cents times 30, correct?
Right.
Like
per text sent or per text received.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then can you customize the auto emails by unit type?
No.
Okay. All right, no problem. And I think that
not at this point.
And I think that might be all the questions I have so far. Let's see.
We'll have time at the end too. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, cool. So last thing that I'm going to talk about before I share kind of something new and upcoming is our group holds. So I noticed that a lot of people still aren't using them when it could make their lives a lot easier. And we've put things in the system to make the group hold a lot easier. So what a group hold is, and it's here under reservations, it's a way to set aside a set number of sites for a group. So let's say, this is my dog. So we put Caliadney in here. So let's say she's calling and she wants to set aside a bunch of sites for her and her friends to come camping or her and her family to come camping. So what I can do is I can come down here and I can put in the date range. I can show what units I have available for that date range. It looks like I'm doing March. And you can, by unit type. So maybe they want RV sites and cabins. It doesn't matter. You can put a whole bunch of stuff in here. So let's say we're going to fill in. They're coming during the week, which works great for me. And you just show what sites are available and you select to add them to the site list here. So what I'm saying right now is that nobody outside of Callie's group can book these sites because I'm holding these sites specifically for her. Now it is associated with a special group code. And if you have a coupon code that's going along with it, maybe it's a rally and you want to give them, 10% off or something, you can select a coupon code here. And you can also add a special rate qualifier, again, if you have like a rally rate set up that way. So whatever way you're setting it up is totally fine. You're going to have your organizing guest over here. You're going to have your notes here as well, if you want to put any notes. And then we have all the sites set aside. So as long as somebody has this code, they're able to book one of these sites for this date range, or for any time in this date range. New and improved to the group hold is that you'll see that there's an options button here now. So let's say somebody calls and they said, oh, I'm part of Callie's group and I want to book my site. I'm ready to book my site because they don't want to go online. They just want to call and talk to someone. Well, you can go into the group holds. You can open up Callie's group hold here and you can go to options and add reservation. So this will allow you to start the reservation right from that group hold. So you don't have to remember the code and put it in. You don't have to remember the dates and put it in. It will autofill all of that for you right away. So it just makes it a little bit easier. So we can hit search and, oh, I gotta fill all this stuff out. I turned on all the options. I normally wouldn't ask for all this personally, but I turned on all the options just because I show a lot of people what Firefly does. So sometimes it's my best and worst enemy of putting, I'm like, I'll put everything on.
So if a park wanted to hold a weekend for a rally, they could actually do kind of like an internal hold with their own code and add those reservations.
Exactly. Because if no one has the group code, they're not going to be able to book in it anyway. So if you only ever want to use it internally, no problem. So you can see now it's only showing the sites because I don't have a lot of sites booked in my park. You can see it's only showing the sites that are available that I've set aside for that group, and it auto-filled the group code here too. The other thing that we've done that has made this super handy is we've actually added the option to create a group hold reservation right from the grid. Because I think that's where some people were getting stuck where they're like, oh, I can see the group hold here, but I can't do anything about it. So you can actually right click on it now and you can add the reservation here into the group hold. So super easy now to get there without having to do a whole lot of hoopla. Under reports, we do have a group report as well. So you will be able to see who's made reservations in that group code. So I didn't actually save any reservations in Callie's group there, but there is the, let's see where it is. Oh, you're a little click happy sometimes. There we go. Group hold reservations. So that report there, if you enter in the group code, it will tell you the bookings that are in it as well. So it's a nice, easy way to do it. One other thing with the group holds that I don't think a lot of people realize is, let's say somebody calls and they make a reservation and they don't tell you they're part of the group and you're like, cool, I'll just put you on this site. And then they call back and they said, hey, I'm actually with so-and-so. Can I be in that group? If the site's already booked, that's fine. You can go into options and you can add to group hold. So you can actually add someone to the group that already has a reservation after the fact, just in case. Or maybe they made a reservation, then their friends wanted to come. So you could do it that way as well, just so that everyone's together. On the grid, you have, once they're in a group, you'll have that little 2-person group icon on the grid as well. So you'll see that over here. Here's good, Bobbert's in one. So we can see that Bobbert's in a group here, and that's a setting that you can turn on up here with the grid settings on the top right. So just if you want to make sure that you can kind of see who's coming together, it always helps to see that visually on the grid. But that's pretty much all there is about the group holds. So anything on those guys?
What if they have dates that they want to stay outside that group hold?
You'd have to make the reservation and adjust it after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Let's see. I do have a couple of questions. It says, what if they just want it an open hold and keep other sites closed? Thomas, I'm not quite sure I know what you mean by that.
Like the group hold will make it unavailable for anybody out who doesn't have that code to book. So Thomas, I think based on the little I know in that chat there, what you were mentioning, I think that would work because like other sites would be available, like the ones that you don't want to set aside would be available, but those specific ones wouldn't be unless you gave them that specific code for them to book in it. But it can't be like a forever hold. Like if you just want to block, like, I mean, you have to put dates in. They don't have to book the whole group hold time though. So there is that too. It's like they could book like 3 days out of it. They don't have to book the whole time frame.
Okay, so they can book a shorter time period in that group hold.
They just can't do before or after.
Okay. All right. And then Does the group hold expire? Meaning, can you limit how long they have to book, and would it automatically release those unused sites?
Yeah, it does. There's an expiration date, and you can. I'm gonna see if I can get there. So you can put the expiration date for it to expire. Yes. Yeah. See there. You actually have to put a date in.
Okay. And Thomas kind of followed up with that. No groups, just limited sites, but online registrations.
I mean, like the other option then, like if you only want certain sites open under property and blocked unit groups, you can block everything that you don't want open for a specific time frame. This one here.
Yeah. And the group, it doesn't necessarily mean that like one person is paying it. This is a way for individual people to pay, even
Yeah.
if they're not together in the same group. But it's
Yeah.
one way to hold that listing of units for a special event or something like that. It doesn't necessarily mean they're all together.
And they don't see each other's names. So like it's not like they get an email, it's like, oh, Bob's been added to your group. Like they don't know. So if they don't know each other, that's still fine.
Yeah, he says like we're open for a concert in July, then open in September.
Yeah, so you want to block the times that you're not open using property and blocked unit groups, because this allows you to close sites for large chunks of time all at once.
And we can also hop on a call with you to kind of make sure you've got your sites blocked out and then your holds, group holds the way you want them. Well, we have no issue with getting on the phone with you to, if that's that specific. Sounds like it's pretty unique.
Mm-hmm.
Can group holds be used for ongoing reservations? We have monthly workers who come together but don't know when the project will be complete.
Not from the get-go. So I would like you can still make the group hold and then make the reservation and add them to the group hold. So you could do it that way.
But could you make a group hold for an ongoing reservation?
Well, actually, you just have to make the group hold for a really long time. I don't know. I've never tried it.
I haven't either. I can play around with it.
Yeah, because like there's no way to choose ongoing. But I'm wondering if the first month is held, like if that, the first month is open, if it would allow you to do it.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. I think we're just about up on time. I've got one more. Actually, we've got, I guess, a quick announcement from Adrian about a new feature. And then I do also have, and I'm going to share this then real quick before you go into yours.
Oh, okay.
We do have a new partnership. Oh, and it's not showing.
It should be there now.
There we go. We have a new partnership with Influence Outdoor Hospitality. It is a marketing group that specializes in digital marketing that can help you get more outreach in your park, and it's directly tied with Firefly, so you can see the conversions there. So if you want more information, we'll send it out in our follow-up email. And then Adrian's got a special announcement.
Yeah, let me share my screen again here.
Okay.
Okay. You can see it now?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. We have a brand new feature that's coming out within the next 2 weeks that was requested by many people, and it's our bulk check-in and check-out. So it'll actually be present under the reservations menu here, and you'll be able to do bulk check-in, check-out. It looks like this. So same filter options. You can say, okay, I want to see everybody for this date who hasn't been checked in. I want to search by the arrival date, hit search, and that's going to show you everyone who's not checked in. You can see all the information here, and you can actually select all, and you can check them in bulk. Same thing is true for the bulk check-out, so you can check people out in bulk as well. For either way, for the check-in, if they haven't signed the policies, you will get a warning. For the checkout, if they haven't paid, you will get a warning, also with the unsigned policies. So you can still continue on with it, but at least you'll be notified. You'll see over here on the right-hand side too, it tells you if it's part of an extension. So if you check out the first part of the reservation and they still have an extension, it will check out the first part, but the extension will be checked in. So you don't have to worry about finagling things to make sure that the right portion is checked in or out. And then, of course, it just notifies you that it's been extended so that you can make sure the site is cleaned if you do want to check them out. So that'll be coming up soon. I am super excited for you guys all to see it and try it out. But that's what's new.
So that is so awesome, Adrian. I know everybody is so excited for that. We do listen to your request every time you let us know that there's a feature that you want. We do put it in to development, and the team does their research to see how quickly we can put that out and if it makes sense to all our parks. So we're so happy that we finally get to share this feature with you guys. If you missed the beginning of this webinar, we will send out a recording, or if you want to share it with others who weren't able to make it, it should go out early next week. And then we'll try and we'll get all those links of those knowledge-based articles and a link to the marketing partnership that we've got. We're so happy that you guys were able to join us. We love doing our webinars and reaching out and connecting with all of our parks. Hope to see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, bye-bye.